Are you still treating claim rejections like claim denials? Stop right there, because that mistake is literally costing your revenue cycle thousands. Let's dive right into this explainer. If you're managing medical billing, keeping the cash flowing is the lifeblood of your practice, right? But so often, simple terminology mix-ups cause massive bottlenecks. Today, we're going to crack the code on exactly how to identify, resolve, and completely prevent these leaks.
But before we solve the puzzle, we've got to look at the sheer financial friction caused when claims are mismanaged. It's super easy to think of a bounced claim as just a minor hiccup, you know? But looking at your larger revenue cycle management ecosystem, these hiccups act like a giant dam, blocking your cash flow and jacking up your operational overhead.
And it doesn't stop there. Denials have massive cascading costs across your entire practice. We aren't just talking about direct revenue loss here. We're looking at increased administrative costs because your staff is spending hours fighting the claim. Add in compliance risks, severe cash flow disruptions, and the absolute worst, frustrated patients dealing with unexpected billing issues. It's a vicious cycle, and we need to break it.
Here's our game plan for today. We'll quickly cover the cost of RCM friction, the big difference between a rejection and a claim denial, decoding those tricky CARCs and RARCs, unpacking common coding denials, strategies for claim resolution, and finally, how AI is changing denial management. Let's get to it.
Section 1. Rejection versus claim denial. Now, understanding this distinction is an absolute fork in the road for any medical claim.
So, what is a rejection? Basically, it means the claim was stopped cold right at the clearinghouse or EDI gateway. The payer never even processed it. Why? Usually, it's just a formatting issue, an X12 syntax error, or some basic missing data. Think of it like putting the wrong zip code on an envelope. The post office just hands it right back to you.
Here is the absolute key takeaway. A rejection is pre-adjudication. Its status is not processed, and you fix it by just correcting the typo and resubmitting immediately. A denial, on the other hand, is post-adjudication. The payer actually processed the claim but decided not to pay based on policy or medical necessity. You can't just hit resubmit on a denial. You have to fix it via a formal appeal or clinical documentation. Bottom line, rejection means fix and resubmit. Denial means audit and appeal.
Moving on to Section 2, decoding CARCs and RARCs. Once a claim is inside the house and gets denied, we have to decode the cryptic clues the payer leaves on your remittance advice. First up, we have CARCs, or Claim Adjustment Reason Codes. These are standard codes that give you the primary reason for the adjustment, like CO stands for contractual obligation. That's a provider write-off. PR means patient responsibility. If you spot a CO97, the CARC is telling you the service was bundled with another procedure. It essentially gives you the what. Then we have RARCs, or Remittance Advice Remark Codes. If the CARC tells us the what, the RARC gives us the specific why. It's the key to solving the mystery. For example, if your CARC is that CO97 for a bundled service, your RARC might be M144, explaining that it specifically bundles with a pre- or post-operative service. When you actually map these codes onto a real remittance advice slip, it tells a super clear story. Check out the build amount here, and then follow the flow to the allowed adjustments. You can see exactly where the Claim Adjustment Group Code, the CARC, and the RARC sit. Knowing exactly where to look, that's step 1 of your investigation.
Section 3. Unpacking common coding denials. Let's crack open the codebook and translate some of the most common reasons claims bounce back.
Here's a rapid-fire breakdown of the usual suspects. We just talked about CO97, your classic bundling denial. Then there's CO50, a big one, where the payer says the service isn't medically necessary. CO4 pops up when your procedure code completely clashes with the modifier. And CO150, that just means the payer thinks your submitted info is insufficient. Translating this jargon into plain English is absolutely crucial. A massive portion of these denials happen because the data is logically flawed right out of the gate. Usually, this falls into 2 buckets. Either the code is inconsistent with the patient's demographics, or the modifiers are completely inappropriate. Let me show you what I mean. Check out these diagnoses, or ICD, denials. CO9 triggers when a diagnosis doesn't match the patient's age. CO10 hits when it's inconsistent with gender. I mean, billing a routine cervical exam for a male patient, that guarantees an immediate automated denial under CO10. These are simple logic traps that your workflow should catch before the claim ever leaves your desk. We see the exact same thing with CPT procedure codes. An M15 rejection shows that separately billed tests got bundled into the same procedure. M80 tells you a service isn't covered when performed during the same session. Seriously, ignoring National Correct Coding Initiative rules leads straight to these bundled payment losses.
Section 4. Strategies for Claim Resolution. Finding the clues is great, but let's pivot to how you actually solve these cases and recover the cash you're owed.
When you get hit with a CO97 bundling denial, following these exact steps ensures you validate everything before you blindly resubmit. First, review the EOB. Second, verify your NCCI edits and double-check clinical notes for medical necessity. Third, confirm your modifiers. Did you need a -25, 59, or 51? Fourth, check the payer's specific bundling rules. And finally, correct the claim with the right modifier.
Now, for a CO4 modifier inconsistency, your detective work looks a little different. After reviewing the EOB, grab your CPT tools to verify modifier accuracy. You're hunting for conflicting pairings. Most importantly, make sure that the procedure and the modifier are logically justified in the patient's chart before you hit submit on that appeal.
But let's be real for a second. The absolute best strategy is prevention, and that takes a cultural shift. You need ongoing coder education. You absolutely have to have providers and billing staff communicating with each other. Providers must create detailed clinical notes that naturally support unbundling. Honestly, just using checklists for high-risk services can save you countless hours on the back end.
Section 5. AI and Denial Management. To truly future-proof your revenue cycle, we have to look at how technology is taking all this manual code cracking to the next level. Modern AI workflows are literally a game changer here. We're talking automated claim scrubbing that validates payer policies and patient eligibility in real time before you even hit submit. And when denials do happen, AI-driven triage automatically prioritizes them based on dollar value. AI is even generating customized appeal letters based on past success rates. It's wild.
This quote really hits the nail on the head. The ultimate solution is letting a smart system triage the heavy lifting. By auto-routing the routine denials, your human experts are finally freed up to focus on the complex appeals that actually require deep clinical reasoning. It massively accelerates resolution and boosts efficiency.
So, let this final thought sink in. Are you just accepting revenue leakage as a cost of doing business? No way! By understanding the crucial difference between a pre-adjudication rejection and a post-adjudication denial, mastering those cards and RARs, and tapping into AI workflows, you can finally plug the leaks in your revenue cycle. Follow for part 2 where we crack the code on cards and RARs even further. Decode Healthcare with Harshal.